Well, click, click, get ready for your Kodak moment.
Welcome to One-on-One, a Bluff City Media podcast. Listen in as we go one-on-one with coaches, players, and influencers from across the city of Memphis and around the country. Now, let's get to the show. What's up, Bluff City Media fans? This is Kenny Stubblefield coming at you from in front of the camera instead of behind the camera for this episode of One-on-One. And I'm excited, man. Like, I had to come out from behind the camera for this dude. I got Sutton Smith, man, true sophomore running back, University of Memphis Tigers. What's up, brother?
What's up? I'm doing good. How you doing, Kenny?
Man, I'm lovely, dude.
Yes.
So we were talking. It is just full disclosure. It's what day is it? Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
It's an off day for you from training camp. Y'all are hot and heavy in training camp right now, but it's raining outside. And me and you had a discussion before we got started.
Oh yeah.
You a hot and sunny football training camp guy, or are you a rain, cloudy? What kind of weather? What do you like?
You know, I'm a hot and sunny guy from Georgia. It's for like, you know, when it's warm and it's hot outside, you get to make your cuts quicker, run a little faster, and just, you know, feel good out there.
You just wear them linemen out. That's why you like to wear them linemen out with that, because you know that we can't. Guys our size, we can't handle the heat like this.
Yeah, I feel like I can handle it. Like, a lot of people complain about it, but like, I feel good when it's hot out there for some reason.
I feel you, man. So you feel like you wake up juiced and ready to go, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So this is the second week of training camp, right?
Yeah, second week.
How's it going so far?
It's going good. You know, I feel like I'm getting better. Like, every practice, like, I'm maturing. I want to, you know, become a pro, and I feel like when I'm stacking each and every day, you know, that's making my game more complete and getting me better. Because, you know, I didn't get a lot of reps with like the ones and twos last year doing training camp. But now that I'm getting reps with the ones and twos consistently, you know, I kind of know my role in the offense, and I feel like it can be a good year for us, and our offense is looking good too. Yeah,
tell me about that. Like, this is obviously your second year with the University of Memphis. Last year, the big question is Sutton going to redshirt? You didn't redshirt. You played. And when you were out there, you performed. You put up numbers. What has been walking into training camp this year? What's been like the biggest difference you've seen in terms of not just your team, but for you specifically?
I feel like
what's
the biggest
been the biggest
difference for me is, you know, I can go out there and just, you know, play free. Like, last year, I felt like, you know, I was a true freshman. They didn't know what I could do. I felt like, you know, I had to prove myself each and every day. I'm not saying like I still don't have to prove myself, but I feel like I can just play more free and confident, and I feel like I can know what I do and just, you know, have fun with it. Because, you know, that's the most important part for me, just to have fun.
So, like, last year, lots of questions about what your role was, if you were going to redshirt, if you were going to play or not. You got to play, but like behind the scenes, like
how'd I feel?
In your own mind, like were those questions being answered? Like, what did you feel like? Do you feel like last year you were like, what you learned behind the scenes was as beneficial as even playing on the field on Saturdays?
Of course, it made me like very mentally strong and like mature as a player. Like, I remember like going into Houston game, like I got in a little bit. I think it was like, which game was it? I think it was like the Temple game. Mm-hmm. But like, I was always like, but they only gave me like a couple touches. I'm like, you know, are they gonna redshirt me? Like, what are the plans for me? And I had played 3 games, and you know, you can't play past 4 when you redshirt.
Right.
But I had got in on special teams. It was against Houston. I had got in on special teams, so I was like, you know, I got in that 4th game, and it's like, what's the question gonna be? And, you know, we was lifting in the weight room like the next morning, and coach came up to me. He was like, you ready to play? I was like, yeah, I'm ready to play. And, you know, it kind of happened from there. It was like the right time, and I thank God for that.
When you heard that, when he came up to you and said, are you ready to play? How did you react internally? I know I can tell by your outside demeanor, you were probably like, yeah, coach, I got you. But how did you react on the inside?
You know, I was a little nervous, to be honest. Like, my heart dropped, but it wasn't like nervous. Like, I knew what I could do. It was just like anxious.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, because I never like had like a prominent role in a college game before. And like, my first time where I got a lot of touches was the Tulane game, and they were pretty good. But I felt like I held my own, and I did pretty good. So it was a good feeling. But like, when he first told me, it was kind of like, dang, like,
it's time.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
Yeah, I feel you. So I love asking this question, and a lot of times when I've asked this question of football players, it's when they've already moved on or they're not playing college ball anymore. Yeah. But you're kind of right in the middle of your career. What was your welcome to Memphis moment? Like, when you realized that this is different, like college ball is different
I remember too. It was the first week of training camp, and it was like the first day of pads. And we was practicing. It was like the beginning of practice, and we was like doing goal line. And I was like at the 2-yard line, and in high school, jump over the pile.
Yeah,
easy.
you're good.
Like the gaps don't close fast, none of that. But it gave me the handoff, and I seen the open gap, and I tried to hit it. It closed, bro, knocked me back. I didn't get in. I was like, damn, like
this is different.
I was like, yeah, like this is college, like this is different. Like you gotta lock in, for real.
It's crazy because like, is that the biggest difference? Is like your instincts have to be so on point in college, like your reactionary.
I feel
times.
like the difference is like with college, if you watch more film and you know like linebacker flow and like where it's gonna hit at, you can anticipate things quicker, and you know that can help you out more in the field. But if you kind of moving unsure and you don't know where the blocking scheme is going, like that's how you are as a true freshman. But if you know those things and you know where the ball is supposed to hit, where each lineman is working to, I feel like those things can help. And like that's kind of like the biggest difference. Like everybody's faster, quicker, so you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, this idea, like when I cover a lot of basketball, so I understand high school basketball, college basketball, things like that. I wonder if it's the same for football, college football, differences between high school football. But playing in high school, did you kind of feel like your elite athleticism, your abilities could just dominate? Yeah,
in high school, the holes are way bigger. You're really just faster and quicker than everybody. Mm-hmm. Like the linebacker on the other team, he might not be as fast as you or as quick as you or as athletic as you. But in college, he has a D1 scholarship just like you.
Right.
Like he did for a reason. So he just as, athletic as you.
Right.
So I feel like that's where the mental aspect come in at.
So what is that? Was that like as you kind of came into college, spent last year, behind the scenes, you got to play some, but spending last year in the facility, in the coaches' rooms, playing with guys that have been playing college ball for years, what part of that mental side of things did you have to grow in super fast?
I probably had to grow in the aspect of like blocking schemes and, just like standing on your track and hitting your landmark. We do a lot of zone schemes. So, just standing in the zone and waiting for that block, slow to it, fast through it, like things of that nature.
So playbook-wise is just a ton different?
I forgot, yeah. Yeah, playbook, you got to study the playbook too. Like, but for me, like where I learned the playbook was like I had to actually do it and run the plays for me to know it. And when I did that, I didn't have to think about the playbook anymore. Like when I'm out there at this training camp, I still look at the playbook because I'm doing some slot too now. But I had to learn the ins and outs of the running back position first. So when you really know the offense as a whole and you go through that first year of growing pains and learning it, you'll get the hang of it.
So obviously coming into your second year, you've been you went through spring camp,
yes, sir.
Then the summer workouts, and now you're full into fall training camp. I love to kind of get behind the scenes, behind the curtain of when fans and media aren't able to see you on a daily basis, especially during spring camp, specifically during summer workouts. What did you work on? Like as you walked into spring camp and summer camp, like what were the things? I know you have goals as a team and what you want your team to, what you want the Tigers to be like. But for Sutton Smith, what were the main points of target, I guess, that you were like, this is what I want to work on?
Good question. Going into summer, my main focus was, of course, getting faster, which I felt like, we got great strength coaches. They helped me get more faster and explosive, things of that nature. But I say my biggest goal was, adding more muscle and putting more weight on. I put a lot of weight on. I put about like a solid 10 pounds on.
Hey, he's hiding them right now.
Yeah, I'm hiding
But at
them.
the spring game, I was on the field and I saw you and I was like, I texted a couple of dudes and I was like, Sutton Smith arms have gotten massive.
Yeah.
Like your arms are huge now, bro.
Yeah.
Not that I was studying your arms or anything like that,
No,
but it was a noticeable
I actually put a
difference.
lot of work into it. Like I'll make sure I was getting up eating. Like I'll be tired, but I make sure I eat again before I go to sleep. Hydrate. I actually put a lot of work into that. It was hard.
Yeah, no, you can tell there was definitely a difference. Like obviously as a elite level, guy coming into as a freshman, you stand out as somebody like you could tell this kid is an athlete. But then I saw you at the spring game and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. You could tell he's been here for a year now.
Yeah.
And he's been putting in grind and work. Like he's been doing it.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So what, during summer workouts, like, is it a lot of it individual or do you get the chance to spend time with the guys as well?
We get a chance to spend time with the guys, but not all the guys. Like my group I was in the second group. So, I spent time with all the running backs, like the linebackers, a couple quarterbacks and tight ends, kind of like, we all fit around the same, weight class or whatever. So, but it was good just, we had some transfers come in, it was good getting to put some work in with them and, getting to know them. So it was a good process this summer. We put some good work in.
Yeah, y'all definitely put some good work in. I want to go back a little bit. Let's go. We talked about a little bit about training camp and fall camp, summer camp and all that kind of stuff. But I want to go back to Powder Springs a little bit. Tell me, what was it like growing up in Powder Springs, Georgia? I mean, everybody knows, nobody that's from Georgia, when you think about Georgia in terms of high school football, it's like just elite level competition coming out of there. Just athletes coming out of there nonstop. What was it like playing in Georgia? What was it like playing for Powder Springs? What was it like for you?
It was really good coming up, like really good competition. Like the first game of every year in Georgia high school football, it's in where the Falcons play. So like Mercedes-Benz, everybody around the Metro Atlanta area, tuning in.
Is lit.
It's lit. And our team play in the morning, in the afternoon, and night. It's about like 5 games throughout the whole day.
Not full games. It's like quarters.
Full games.
So you're playing how many?
So a team plays at like 9 in the morning, and then another team plays at like 1, and another team plays at like 5, and another team plays at 8. And it's all like great matchups, and it's good talent. Everybody around the city tuning in, and I feel like
first game of the year.
First game of the year. First game of every Georgia football season. So I feel like that game I had like my senior year was really like my coming out party.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
We played like Lowndes County down in South Georgia.
Yeah.
They had the historic football program, and it was just a fun game. I had scored the first touchdown, and we was up like 14-0, but they ended up coming back at the end, and we went to overtime, and I had the game-winning touchdown. So it was fun, bro. It was fun.
How many folks are watching?
A lot.
High school football, places like Georgia, places like Texas, places like Florida, monster, like, right?
Yeah,
like people come out.
It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people.
Yeah. So in your IG post, so I was going back and looking at like when you committed to Memphis. Obviously, there was a connection. There was a connection that was perceived to be there between you and one of your friends from high school, Zacho, who was supposed to be,
oh yeah, my boy,
at Memphis as well, playing basketball. Yes. So when you committed, everybody's like, oh man, okay, like let's do some deep diving on this kid and see what he's all about. And impressive stuff. Like everybody was like, wow, this guy's going to be, a talent for the Tigers. And a lot of Memphis fans, it's funny because like they always take like, who does he remind us of? Previous Memphis guys.
Yeah.
And there's one name that's always been popped out about you in terms of previous Memphis running backs and go, this is who Sutton Smith looks like, who he could play like, and that's Kenny Gainwell.
For sure.
Right? Is that a comparison you've heard quite a bit?
Man, of course. And, he's a great player. Like, I always go back, watch the 2019 film and, just learn from him and watch how he do stuff. And I can see the comparison. I'm trying to get as good as him and become a pro like him. So I respect everything, he brought to the city and what he did here. And I'm trying to do the same thing, But when Memphis has folks like that to pave the way, it just makes it easy because, I just learn from them and go as hard every day, so I can be like them. You feel me? Somebody I look up to for sure. So
you said in your IG post, and I've got the quote written down, so I want to make sure I get it right.
Sure.
You said in your IG post, you said at the very end, it felt very intentional when you committed to Memphis. It felt very intentional, and I wanted to ask you about it and just kind of get your insight on it. But you said, this didn't come easy, so it means so much more to me. Yes. Talking about your commitment. Explain that, like you don't have to go into great detail about what's not been easy.
I feel like, for me, I felt like I worked harder than a lot of people. To be honest, like I actually put a lot of work into my craft. So I feel like it didn't come easy. Like during COVID, you know, when everything was shut down, like me and my cousin and my dad, we'd be in the basement, like
just working,
just grinding every day. Yeah. Like, you know, people weren't doing nothing, but we was in the basement, like for real, like just grinding, working.
Where did that come from? That drive? Like, I mean, you could have just easily been sitting playing the game, doing whatever.
I feel like it came from my family, to be honest. Like, you know, I seen how they work. Like, my dad go to work every day. And, you know, my dad, he didn't really, like, have that father figure, but, like, he put in a lot of time and effort into making sure I was straight. And, you know, I used to play baseball. I used to travel everywhere so I could, you know, play baseball. Like, my dad and my mom, they was always there for me. So I feel like that inspires me. It makes me just go hard.
That's what's up. So when you describe that moment, when you decided to commit to the University of Memphis, you put that pen to paper and signed your name to it.
Yes.
What did that feel like to you?
Oh, it felt like a blessing. It felt like a relief, honestly, because, you know, I was when I was in high school, of course, I was worried about, you know, where I would actually end up at, you know. So it felt like a relief, and it just felt like, you know, it's that time now. Like, it's finna get real. Like, you know, just do what you do.
It's an interesting mindset, right? When you get to a certain goal. I'm sure Division I college football has been a goal for you since the first time you put pads on.
Yes, sir.
But it feels like what this is saying to me, what your IG post is saying is the work is just now starting.
Of course, yeah. Like, the real work is just now starting. Of course, like in high school, like I really wouldn't watch film or do things like that. But now I'm trying to get into like the mental aspect of it and just other things, just like living right, eating right, feeding myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
You think that's what sets guys that are at your level now that end up ultimately making it pro?
I think so. Like, limiting distractions is a big part of it. But, you know, you can always, you know, I'm not saying don't have fun or do nothing like that, but just.
I mean, you're 20 years old. You got to have fun.
You got to have fun. Like, Memphis is a fun city, you know, of course. But, you know, just, you know, when it's that time, like, you know, give it all you got. So you looking back at it with no regrets.
That's what's up. So this is an interesting topic, and you mentioned COVID just a few minutes ago. And it's something I wanted to ask a young guy like yourself who just, I mean, you second year in college, you've been through the recruiting process. You were being recruited through that COVID time period, right? Like, you were being recruited, you know, from high school to college. Have you noticed with COVID happening and with the transfer portal and all that kind of stuff going on, have you noticed guys maybe that are a year younger, 2 years younger, that are now being recruited like you were back then? Have you noticed that, like, the transfer portal and roster management, has it severely limited guys like yourself the opportunity to, like, be seen and be heard?
Nah, most definitely. That kind of messed up recruiting, you know, not only for my class, but the classes, you know, after me. Because, you know, with the transfer portal, you know, that was rare back in the day. But, like, with coaches adding transfers now, like, that goes a lot into roster management.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like I see less and less kids getting offers, to be honest.
So what do you say? I mean, I'm sure you got some guys back in Powder Springs that call you up and be like, Sutton, man, like, what do I do? Like, I want to be seen. Should I take this offer from this D2 school?
You know, like a lot of that is like coaches and, you know, like people like me, they tell kids to, you know, try to commit early.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like you have that offer you really like, they try to commit early and don't, you know, wait on something but they say try to commit early.
Yeah, like, commit early, because if this offer is there, take the offer now.
Because, you know, that college can, you know, if you sitting around waiting, they might move on to the next guy.
Because if you wait for Georgia to offer you, that might not come, bro.
Exactly.
Because they're looking at the transfer portal and saying, man, I could bring in this fifth year dude as a rental for a year.
Yeah.
Instead of developing a kid like yourself.
That's real, though. That's a lot of coaches' thinking process. Like, instead of taking a freshman and developing him, they go get that fourth or fifth year guy.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like, you know, Ryan, Coach Silverfield, has talked about that quite a bit, and like media availabilities is he is not giving up on, like, he is actively recruiting high school still. Like, he wants that to be a core part of his culture at the University of Memphis. What is it about, like, to me, it feels like that's saying, I want to be a place where people can come and develop.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've noticed since being at Memphis, that they put a lot of time and energy into helping you develop?
Yeah, they really do. They put a lot of time and energy in helping you develop. Like the freshman class this year, it's a good amount of them. And like when they got here versus now, like I can already see them, putting on muscle, getting faster, getting stronger. Some of them even look good in camp.
Yeah.
But they're developing me already. So I feel like, they develop their kids, especially with the weightlifting and the strength coaches and stuff like that, making sure you're on the right meal plan. Yeah. They developing kids for sure.
So who's the Sutton Smith of this freshman class?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I can't really I can't answer that yet, but I feel like
there's got to be somebody you've seen.
I feel like
it's
some people on defense who can, kind of help us this year.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? I think he's number 23. I think it's like his last name Moss. Mm-hmm. Moss.
Yep.
I feel like I feel like he's a good player.
You see a couple of kids that you're like, okay, like you could be that guy. You could be that guy that everybody's like, we got to get him on the field, just like everybody was with you last year.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like I can't tell you how many times we heard it. Like when Sutton's on the field, he produces. Get him out there, But again, we're not in the
and when you have young talent and you get them on the field early, like with Seth, like you can't beat the experience factor.
Man.
So I feel like Seth to have a good year this year. He played it since a freshman, and he going to that third year. So I feel like he can do good.
It is wild to think that how rare it is that Memphis has a starting quarterback that's been the starting quarterback for 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years, now going into his third, and is still a 20-year-old junior. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? In terms of the offense, in terms of being in the room and being, with Coach Cramsey, how does that help guys like yourself, the other guys, the other playmakers out there go, we got our guy. Like, we know who our guy is.
Oh, yeah. Seth is a great leader. So, everybody knows he's the guy. And, we trust him. So we all try to communicate with him, tell him what we see. He tell us what he sees on the field. And, that trust factor, just coming together and communicating as a team, like that can really help us this year. And he stepped up as a leader as well.
Yeah.
So.
Does it hit different coming from? Because I know they said at the beginning of the year, just a couple of weeks ago, they said one of the things that Silverfield and Cramsey said is they're going to utilize Seth's big brain and they're going to put a lot of the offense in his hands.
Yeah, they doing like this year. They're doing a lot more with the offense. I could say like we got a lot of weapons, and they're gonna make sure every weapon gets the ball like as much as possible. And Seth, he just knows the ins and outs of the offense. So, if I don't know the lineup in the backfield, like he'll put me over here. Mm-hmm. Like he just knows everything. So that makes it easier for everybody else.
So having that open line of communication with somebody like Seth, who's in the huddle with you, who's out there working with you, who's out there on the field seeing what you see, is the communication a little bit different? Like when it comes to if he's calling plays, if he's able to audible, pre-snap, if he's able to do all these different things, like is the open lines of communication different this year in terms of what you guys are seeing out there on the field?
Yeah, I can say that. Like, for example, like the other day in practice, like I had went out to the slot, and when I go out there and I look at him and he does a hand signal like what I have on the route, and just stuff like that. So just helping me out and just helping everybody else out. It's just a good feeling.
Yeah, that's what's up. So you are, you're literally part of probably the deepest room in Memphis football. That running back room is wild.
Deep. Yeah,
and y'all got some studs in that running back room. You've got yourself, you've got Jay, you got Blake, you got Bull, you got BT.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? I don't think I'm missing anybody. Like I think it's 5 of y'all right now that are just that all could easily get minutes, get touches out there, right? How do you what's the dynamic like in that room as you guys are working through? Obviously, there's a competition, right? Obviously, you're trying to fight for snaps.
That's a good question.
What's the dynamic like?
It's weird. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, all 5 of us can really play.
Yeah.
And, watching each other on film, and you're like, dang, like, he good. He good, too. And so I feel like that just brings the best out of everybody, when you have that competition going and the running back room as deep as it can, it just makes you stay on top of everything. And it keeps everybody healthy at practice too.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like all 5 of us can really do something. So that I feel like the coaches are gonna do the best, to get each and every one of us on the field to, do what we do so we can help the offense and help the team much better. But it's crazy though. It's crazy.
I mean, do you ever sit there and watch a piece of practice footage and go, "Damn, Jay, like that was nice."
Yeah, literally.
Damn,
yeah, literally.
Damn, Blake, like
for real though.
I need you to not make that cut again because that's nice. And what's y'all's biggest strength? Like as a group, like what do y'all think y'all's biggest strength is?
That's a good question. Our biggest strength, I'll probably say I feel like everybody run hard. Everybody run hard. I feel like all of us can catch too.
Yeah.
I feel like all of us can catch, have pretty good hands. That can, be in the passing game.
It feels like every single one of y'all, like if you were to take all of y'all's games, it feels like the entire running back room is just super multiple. Like y'all can do it all.
I feel like, yeah. And I also feel like everybody brings something different to the table. In my opinion, I feel like everybody can bring something different to the table.
So what is it that Sutton Smith brings to the table? Because I know, listen, we can kumbaya this all day long. We can say, yeah, we're good as a squad. But I know you want to play, and I know you want to get touches. I know you want to be the guy. What is it that sets Sutton Smith apart?
I feel like what sets me apart is my versatility. I feel like that's what sets me apart. I feel like I can do everything, like make somebody miss, get the hard yards, go out receiver, catch a screen pass, get upfield, use my speed. I feel like I've been getting better at pass blocking and also return game too. That's an important factor to me.
Yeah, no, I think Coach White told us at media availability that right now,
I'm taking that serious. Right
now, if the season were to start today, you'd be the kickoff return guy.
Yeah, I'm taking that very serious.
You like that, huh?
I love it. I'm trying to be I am. I think I am going to be all conference special teams team.
That's a goal for you.
That's a goal.
All conference special teams.
Yes.
What is it about special teams that you enjoy so much?
Just seeing TP do it.
Yeah, right.
TP do it. He was he had a lot of roles for that. So I'm sure he took pride in it. And just making plays. Just being able to make plays.
You can make $1 million a year, $2 million a year.
Going to the league off that too.
Bro, what are we talking about?
Help a team, yeah.
Let's go. How do you think, like if in your best case scenario, like one of the things that has kind of set Memphis offenses apart in the past is the ability to take guys that this is not their normal position and put them in that position. Like you look back at that 2019 year, Kenny Gainwell, started off. Patrick Taylor was the starting running back at the beginning of the year. Got injured in the Ole Miss game. Kenny came in and just lit the world on fire.
Yeah.
But one of the things that set him apart was his ability to get in the slot, his ability to catch out of the backfield, his ability to. I mean, I think maybe it was the Tulsa game. He had 200 yards rushing, 200 yards receiving.
I think it's Tulane. I think it was.
Was that Tulane or Tulsa? One of those two. I don't remember.
Tulane, I think.
But it was, just stunning, ability to
I feel like that's what the running back position is coming to. Like you got to be able to help the team in the passing game. But that year Gibson, he played a lot of receiver.
Started off as receiver.
He's starting for the Commanders. So it's crazy. So that's why I feel like Memphis this is a good school, man. Good scheme on offense.
What do you think? I mean, do you see yourself? Could you be put in a slot like that?
Yeah, I feel like I can. Like I've been practicing at it, so I'm becoming more comfortable. So I feel like I really can.
Is it weird? Like, what is it? Is it a footwork thing, like getting off the line and getting separation from a nickel, or is it running a route and trying to catch the ball? Because I know for a fact you can.
I feel like it's the first thing you said. Just having a plan when you go out there and knowing angles and how you want to get open on this play. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm learning as I've been practicing it. So it's a good process, man. It's a good process.
All right, I got 2 more questions for you. And they're fan questions. These are fan questions. They want to know a little bit about you. Of course. All right. You got 1 meal.
1 meal. Oh,
home cooked or
I already know.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
What's the meal? What is Sutton Smith's favorite meal?
20-piece hot wing with a fruit punch on the side with fries.
Hey, all you ladies at the University of Memphis, if you want to get to this man's heart, it's the way to do it. 20-piece.
20-piece hot wing, fries, fruit punch. That's all I need for real.
So it's a hot topic in Memphis. Mm-hmm. We're known for our barbecue. I think our hot wings are about way up there in terms of quality. I think our hot wings are fire. What place have you been to in Memphis that you like?
Man, I just had this place called like Hattie B's. Yeah, man. It's really good. I just came across it too. I don't know how, but it's really good. American Deli, of course. Ching's Hot Wings. I've been trying the Hop Daddy Burger Bar. Yeah. I need to try some more places too. But I think I should try some called like Elwood Shack. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying more stuff this year because I got my car down here now. I really had my car last year, so I've been trying new places.
So it's like you go to a restaurant.
Put me on though.
We'll talk off air because you don't get free pub on this place. Yeah. Are you you walk into a restaurant and you go, let me figure out the quality of this restaurant by their wings. If their wings are dope, then this is a good spot. Or if they're not, then I'm not coming back. Yeah. Is that how it works?
For sure.
Have you learned how to do them yourself?
Nah, I haven't, but I've been cooking more though. Yeah. I've been cooking more.
Bro, this is super easy. Just get an air fryer.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
You can do that in your apartment.
They come in handy. I need to get one.
Get an air fryer, throw that thing in there, and you're done.
For sure.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. All right. Last question for you. You're stuck on a deserted island forever. Mm-hmm. No chance of getting off this island. Yeah. All right. You got all the food in the world that you need, so you ain't got to worry about that. Like, you're going to have all the hot wings, all the fries, all the fruit punch, everything you need. No worries about food. Sure. But you only have one music album and one movie to listen to and watch for the rest of your life. What would it be?
You said one music album?
Yep.
Man, you listen to Gunna?
Absolutely.
The album Gunna just dropped. I went with that album.
You sticking with Gunna right now?
I'm sticking with Gunna.
You sticking with Gunna right
now?
Real
Gunna fan. Real Gunna fan. I'm sticking with Gunna right now.
Come see him if you want to talk about it, right?
Real Gunna fan.
Real Gunna fan. Okay, yeah. No, it's a dope album, absolutely.
You said one movie.
One movie.
That's tough. Since I wouldn't be able to play football no more, I would say probably Waterboy.
Oh man, good choice.
Probably Waterboy.
A lot of folks like to go like the romantic route, or they like to go the scary route. And I'm like, bro, give me a comedy, man. Yeah. Give me a comedy.
Something I can laugh to.
Something you can laugh to. Yeah. Everybody wants to laugh, man. You're stuck on a deserted island, man. You need to laugh.
Thanks.
Waterboy is great. Adam Sandler is phenomenal.
It's funny.
He's funny as all get out. Hey, man, Sutton, thank you, bro, for real. Of course. Good luck the rest of training camp. Good luck. And, man, I think most Memphis fans are as intrigued by seeing what you're going to be able to do on the field this year in your second year as anything else. Like, they just want to see, is Sutton that guy? Mm-hmm. And that's why we wanted to have you on. And I want to say big shout out, special shout out to Bluff City NIL for making this interview happen. Also, Coaching for Literacy, thank you so much for making this interview happen. Sutton, thank you, bro.
Man, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, man.
Thank you for having me. Go Tigers.
Thank you for listening to this episode of One on One. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube page. We will see you back here next time.